Hello, in this video we're looking at issue 73 of Warhammer Imperium magazine, in which the Necrons get some more fire support in the form of a Lokhust Heavy Destroyer, which we will see in action in our game. Hello, I'm Will, I'm here with Mike, we're the Tabletop Donkeys.
Hello.
And today we're looking at issue 73 of Warhammer 40,000 Imperium magazine. In this issue we got a Necron Lokhust Heavy Destroyer, which we'll be building and painting up and then using in our game, which you can see using the timecode in the description or the chapter bars, but we'll have a look through the issue first. The Lokhust Destroyers are another variant of the Destroyer cults, these ones specialising heavy firepower and annihilating their foes, and the Heavy Destroyers are the largest that carry the most potent weaponry among those. And here's its battle record, so as usual you can give it a name and some ways in which it's decayed, and also keep a tally of its kills. A Blood Angels character now, the Sanguinor, exemplar of the host. Sort of almost a legend and a myth among the Blood Angels. An angelic figure who turns up at their darkest moments and sometimes saves the day. There are a variety of theories as to what it might be, possibly a manifestation of their collective consciousness, or perhaps even the spirit of Sanguinius himself, although there are also of course some who consider it to be slightly dangerous. And we learn about Gabriel Seth, the chapter master of the Flesh Tearers, Blood Angel's successor chapter, who have a reputation for extreme savagery and bloodthirstiness, and they're also heavily afflicted by the Black Rage and the Red Thirst, and their chapter is in fact dying because they're losing Space Marines far quicker than they can replace them. And Gabriel Seth has done some things to try and address this, but still some who just call for them to be excommunicated, as much a danger to their allies as their enemies. Now we learn about the Fifth Sphere expansion of the Tau Empire, and their most recent drive to expand and colonise new worlds under the military leadership of Commander Shadowsun, although many of the Imperial worlds they tried to colonise resisted, and resulting in extensive warfare. And they actually found themselves facing a new foe here, the Genestealer cults. What they first took to just being rebellion on Imperial world turned out to be a more insidious threat. And there's also a gallery here of different Tau battlesuits, from the standard Fire Warrior body armour all the way up to the Riptide battlesuit. And the build guide for the Lokhust Heavy Destroyer, again it's fairly straightforward to put together. It does have one option, which is which gun you give it, either the Enmitic Exterminator or the Gauss Destructor. We get the rules for both in this issue, so you can choose which one you prefer. And the painting guide, again it's just a large Necron construct, so it's painted much the same as the previous ones. And again using Tesseract Glow to finish it off. And we also have a general selection of details to add to the Imperial models using some paints we've got recently. So there's all sorts of things here, like painting the red stripe down the centre of the Lieutenant's helmet, details on the Librarian there, using Balor Brown on the wood on the simulacrum that the Battle Sister carries. The guide here for painting the flames and the braziers from the Repentia Superior, using a variety of red and orange paints to get a flame effect. Parts on the Adeptus Mechanicus models, just using some colours that we haven't had a chance to apply to them, and even the Necron Flayed ones get a bit of treatment here. And a guide on painting faces as well, painting things like eyes and teeth. If you want to do this, it's worth practicing, especially if you have a few spare heads to use, and it requires a steady hand and a bit of practice to make it look realistic, otherwise the results can end up looking more comical than serious, but it can definitely be worth it if you're willing to put the time in. And we have another fold-out in this issue with more of the continuing story of rogue trader Sonara von Hart under the observation of Inquisitor Jonas Malok. In this instalment, the Inquisitor Julia Stahlman has contacted Sonara von Hart and told her to take her to the other side of the galaxy. She's tracking an alien creature called a Zote, which the rogue trader is not really in a position to refuse. Also, Inquisitor Malok's comments on how the rogue trader hopes to make a profit from this by trading in archaeotech, which is a little bit suspicious. So she wants to be taken to a space station called Precipice, which is nearby a Blackstone Fortress, a gigantic, strange space station. This is actually drawing a lot of the information from the Warhammer Quest Blackstone Fortress game. Being beyond the boundaries of the Imperium, there are all sorts of aliens and ne'er-do-wells on Precipice itself. It's a place where humans and aliens may mix, like all of these creatures you can see here. So there's the Zote, a sort of reptilian, centaur-like race. Beastmen on the station, Kroot, mentions Ambles and Urgles, and the Spindle Drones, the guardians of the Blackstone Fortress itself, and Janos Drake, a character from that game, and some notes from Sonara von Hart about how she hopes that, despite the difficulties of the journey, it may turn profitable given the amount of things she may be able to buy and sell on Precipice. But that's it for the contents of this issue, so now I hand you over to Mike, where we'll be on to our game.
So no new faction rules or anything this time, just the datasheet for the Lokhust Heavy Destroyers to look at. The single Lokhust Heavy Destroyer for 4 power, and it is a heavy support choice. Has an 8-inch move, weapon skill, ballistic skill 3+, strength 4, toughness 5, 4 wounds, 2 attacks, leadership 10 and a 3+ save. And it is armed with either an Enmitic Exterminator, or you can give it a Gauss Destructor instead. Both of these are 36-inch range. The Enmitic Exterminator is heavy 3d3, strength 7, AP-1, 1 damage and blast, whereas the Gauss Destructor is only heavy 1, but strength 10, AP-4, 3d3 damage, and it has the living metal, reanimation protocols and command protocols rules as usual. It also has the repulsor platform rule, which states it doesn't suffer the penalty to hit rolls for moving and firing a heavy weapon in the same turn, because bafflingly it has the infantry keyword, not sure how that works, and it is a destroyer cult unit, so it has the hardwired for destruction rule, so it can reroll hit rolls of 1. And it shows here both of its weapons, basically giving you a general idea of how to use them. Gauss Destructor obviously is a powerful anti-tank weapon, whereas the Enmitic Exterminator is better against large clumps of infantry. And on the next page, at the bottom we can see the tutorial for a repulsor platform there. And it notes that because it has the Destroyer Cult's keyword, it does benefit from the Scorpic Lord's aura, and if you really wanted to, you could infuse it with madness with the Canoptic Plasma Sight. And for the backstory for today's mission, we're back to the surface of Kjalma's skull, where the war has devolved into trench warfare. The Necrons are gathering their forces for a decisive counterattack, while the Imperium are trying to move heavy equipment into position to strike at the Noctilith pylon the Necrons have been building. And so the Necrons are attempting to counterattack before the Imperial forces can get into position. And today's mission is No Man's Land, a 75 power veteran mission across 4 battle mats. So we have 5 objectives, we have 1 in the centre and then 2 12 inches either side along the vertical edge. And they both place have a deployment zone 12 inches away from the centre, so 24 inches away from each other. And the final 2 objectives are 20 inches from the centre in each deployment zone. And we have the No Man's Land rule for this mission, where if a unit has a pre-battle ability that allows it to be set up anywhere on the battlefield, that unit must be set up wholly within your deployment zone. And if you have any pre-battle rule that allows you to make a move, so that's the Skitarii Rangers, they must also end that move wholly within your deployment zone. And our main objective is Take and Hold, as usual, where you get 5 victory points for 1 or more objectives, 5 for 2 or more, and 5 if you have more than your opponent and you can't score in the first battle round. And for our secondary objectives, we can choose one as usual, or we can choose the Secure No Man's Land secondary objective, which is at the end of each of your turns. If you control the central objective marker, you score a number of victory points equal to the current battle round, so 1 in the first one, 2 in the second one, and so on. So we'll show you our armies, get the board set up and get straight into it. So here's the Imperium army I've picked. We're going for a contingent from all 3 of the sub-factions today. So I've got Manius Calgar, who will be my warlord, so he has his Adept of the Codex warlord trait. I've also got the Lieutenant and the Tech Priest Dominus. I've got 2 units of Assault Intercessors, a unit of 10 Skitarii Rangers and a unit of 10 Battle Sisters. We've got the 3 Catacombs Destroyers, the Penitent Engine, the Suppressors, the Eliminators, the Outriders and the Aggressors. Oh, mustn't forget the Victrix Guard. So that totals to 75 power of Imperium, 15 power of Admech, 9 power of Sisters and 51 power of Marines.
And here is my Necron army. So we've got 4 HQs, the Overlord, the Scorpic Lord, the Plasmancer and the Technomancer. Technomancer is going to have the Photonic Trans-Subjector, so he can ignore first field save per turn. The Overlord will be the Warlord with the Honourable Combatant Warlord trait. Then we've got my 3 usual troops units, 2 units of Warriors and the Immortals. We've got 3 Scorpic Destroyers, the new Lokhust Heavy Destroyer, 5 Lich Guard, 5 Death Marks, 3 Wraiths, Triarch Stalker with the heavy Gauss cannons, and the Canoptic Reanimator, and the Canoptic Plasma Sight as well, and 75 power of Necrons.
So we finished setting up the board and deploying, so I'll give you a shot of the battlefield. So in the top left, you can see we've got one of the ruined buildings and the Hematite Reactor in the centre with another ruined building. You see objectives 1 and 3 down the middle of the board. Objective 2 is hidden under those Skitarii Rangers over there on the left. And in the top right, crates and cargo containers. Objective 4 on the right there behind the Triarch Stalker. And objective 5 down here in another ruined building. Lots of pipes and boxes around as well. Down here I have a unit of Assault Intercessors. Most of my army's in the middle, so I've got the Outriders, my Admech contingent all clustered around the Dominus, the other unit of Assault Intercessors, Manius and the Lieutenant, and the Victrix Guard in the structure, with the Eliminators on the roof and the Suppressors tucked in behind. And up at the top I have the Battle Sister squad, and I have the Aggressors and the Penitent Engine in strategic reserves, costing me 1 command point.
And then for my deployment, so closest to you, we've got the unit of Warriors with Gauss Flayers. In the building there is the Lich Guard, the 2 Cryptex, and the Overlord, the Reanimator behind them. Death Marks are on the roof of that building. And then on the other side of it is the other unit of Warriors, the Immortals. The Triarch Stalker is standing on objective 4. And up at the top there is my destroyer contingent with the Lord both into destroyers to plasma site, and I put the Wraiths in strategic reserve for a command point.
And before we determine who's going first, my sacred right is going to be Divine Guidance for the Battle Sisters, and I've chosen the No Man's Land secondary objective.
And so have I.
So we're both going straight for the middle. And rolling off, I won the roll off. I think I'll go first, so we'll go into Imperial turn 1. Before the command phase, I get a Miracle Dice and get a 3.
And my command protocol will be Eternal Guardian for cover for everything.
Yeah, and then in my command phase, I'll gain a command point going up to 14, and then minus Calgar will put his ability on the suppressors, I think. Also, I'm going to use the Benediction of the Omnissiah canticle. Not going to choose a Doctrine in yet, because I'm not going to move the Skitarii, and they won't be in range. So, after my movement, the Assault Intercessors down here advanced, getting towards Objective 5. Bikes moved up, and the Sergeant is just in range of Objective 3, because you are allowed to score that objective in the first turn, so I might as well get a victory point. The two characters and the other units in the building have moved up. And the Hemotrope Reactor, the Eliminators staying where they are, the Dominus staying where he is as well, and the Suppressors and the Cataphrons have moved into the building, get some better lines of fire. And up to the top, the Battle Sisters have moved around the box, so that they're all just about in range of those destroyers. Maybe we can pick one of them off if we're lucky. So on to the shooting phase. So you're just doing the Battle Sisters first. Bolt gun shot and didn't do anything. The Storm Bolter got a wound and it's got AP -1.
Because of Divine Guidance, but cancelled out with cover. Oh, but I failed the save, so 2 damage on a destroyer.
So next up, the Suppressors are going to shoot at the Chark Stalker. So they've got 9 shots, hitting on 4s because they moved, but re-rolling everything because of Calgar's ability. Good job, Calgar's here. 7 hits, only on 4s because of Quantum Shielding, re-rolling 1s because of the Lieutenant. 4 wounds.
AP -2 because of Devastator Doctrine, cover because of the command protocol, so 4s. We take 4 damage.
Do the Cataphrons next. The 2 heavy plasmas are going to supercharge at the Chark Stalker, while the Grav is going to hit the death marks, I think, because it's not quite in range. Gravman first, 5 shots, hitting on 4s. We missed, never mind. And then the heavy plasmas, 2d6 shots, 7 shots at the Chark Stalker, 4s. So I can reroll one of these because of Benediction, which is a miss. And you know what, I'll spend a command point to reroll another one. I think I'm going to use another one this phase. Spend the command point. Oh, into a 1, so actually there's a wound done to the Gravman. Do I get a command point with Calgar? No. 5 plasma hits, wounding on 4s. And I can reroll 1 because of Benediction. 3 wounds.
5 plus invulnerable save or cover, made 1, so another 4 damage.
I'll do the Eliminators next. They're going to fire hyperfrag rounds into that unit of warriors in the front. D3 shots each, but it's a unit of 10, so 3 minimum. So 9 shots, hitting on 2s, re-rolling 1s. Yeah, they all hit. And 3s, re-rolling 1s. 8 wounds.
-1 because of Devastator, but we've got cover, so 4s. Only made 2, so we're losing 6. Do they come back? 3 back. Oh, and a 1 to re-roll. 3.
Do the bikes next, shooting at the same unit of warriors. 4 wounds from the bikes.
Again, -1, but cover. So we've made 3. And coming back? No.
So the only units I have left to shoot are Calgar and the Skitarii Rangers. Calgar will shoot at the warriors. Calgar got a wound.
Saved.
Right, so the only Skitarii Ranger that can actually see the warriors and is in range is the one with the plasma. Sniper will go after the death marks instead. Plasma hits twice, wounds on 3s, 1 6+ save.
Yeah, with cover. Oh.
Sniper missed. Well, that's it for my turn. I do hold the objective with just the Outrider Sergeant, so I do gain a victory point, but then we're on to the Necron turn.
So in my command phase, the Technomancer resurrected 3 of those warriors in the middle. They also had My Will Be Done and the reanimation being put on them, and they've moved forward normally, getting 3 in range of the objective. Everything else over there also moved normally, except the reanimator, which advanced. The death marks are staying still. The Plasmancer is tucked in that building there. You can't see him, but he's hiding from snipers. The Technomancer advanced to get over to the far side slightly more. The Immortals moved up. The Destroyer Lord actually advanced. I had to re-roll that with a command point, but it got him onto Objective 1. And the normal destroyers are behind the ruins, followed by the Lokhust Heavy Destroyer. End of movement phase, Harbinger of Destruction. The closest visible unit is actually the Victrix Guard, because the bikes are closer, but he can't see them. So, mortal wounds on 4s. Oh, 3! Wow!
Kill one of them.
So on the shooting, we'll start with the Lokhust Heavy Destroyer. It's going to shoot the Outriders. It has 1 shot, which hits on 3, re-rolling 1s. It missed with the 2. Next, we'll do the Chark Stalker. It's going to shoot the Cataphrons. So we're only hitting on 4s because it's taking damage with 6 shots. Well, that makes a difference. It's only hit twice. Would Techno Oracular targeting for 1 wound and then roll on a 3, or 2 wounds.
Nope. That made neither.
D3 damage, first one does 1, and then the other one just kills the Gravman. So I'll re-roll the damage roll, because otherwise we're only killing the Gravman. Oh, still a 1. Okay, so we kill the Gravman. We do the Destroyer Lord shooting at the Battle Sisters. 4 wounds.
So 4 plus saves. Made 2 dead.
We'll move on to the warriors in the middle now, shooting at the Outriders. I got 6 wounds with them.
So 6 5 plus saves for the Outriders. Oh, I made 3 of them, so one guy's got 1 wound left.
Technomancer also shot them but did nothing. The Plasmancer can only see the remaining Victrix Guard and is in range of him. D3. 3. 3s. 3. 3s. 1.
3 plus invulnerable save. Yep.
And then we just got the other unit Warriors and the Immortals. I think we're going to do all of that with bikes. Warriors got 3 wounds.
So 3 4 plus saves. Made them all.
1 more wound from an Immortal.
So 5s, yes.
Oh, I actually got the Death Marks left as well. They'll try and finish off that 1 wounded bike on 2s. And 4s, 6 to a mortal wound. No, 2 more wounds. -2.
5 plus armour again. Oh, finally brought him down.
But that's going to be it for my turn. I'm not going to do any charges, and I gain a victory point for holding the middle objective because of the secondary again.
Well, then we're on to battle round 2. I take another miracle dice for a 5. I go to the tactical doctrine. My canticle for this turn is going to be Shroud Psalm, and my doctrine is going to be the Protector, I believe. The +1 ballistic skill, +1 skill 1.
And command protocol will be Vengeful Stars, and we're going to go for the directive, which is ignoring benefits of light cover within half range.
Command phase stuff. Calgar's Chapter Master is going on the suppressors again, and again 5 victory points for holding objective 2. And I go up to 14 command points. In the centre, the bikes, Calgar and the Victrix Guard have moved up, with the Cataphrons Lieutenant and the suppressors lagging behind a bit. Up at the top, the unit of Assault Intercessors and the Battle Sisters move towards the objective, and I will be spending 2 command points for Defenders of the Faith. And you can also see I brought in the Penitent Engine, since I'm bringing both my reinforcement units this turn. At the back, the Skitarii Rangers have moved south around the building, and the Dominus is taking their place for holding objective 2. The Eliminators will stay where they are for now. And here in the south, these Assault Intercessors moved up to objective 5, and I brought the Aggressors in. Could have brought them in further to the right, but I think if they roast all those warriors, they'll just be left stuck out in the open with nothing to do. I might be able to get some victory points back from Calgar, so I get 2 dice, because I used 2 for Defenders of the Faith. Yeah, I only get 1 back, unfortunately. On to the shooting phase, where I think I'll start with the Eliminators, and they're going to shoot at the Plasmancer, who is in that structure over there on the right. So 3 shots from the Eliminators. We're going to use the Mortis rounds, hitting on 2s. No rerolls because they're too far away. Well, they will hit. 3s, rerolling 1s. Rerolling 1s. So it's just 2 wounds and no more wounds.
We're going to 5+ save because he's in cover. Oh, he made both.
Up at the top, we're going to do the Battle Sisters against the Destroyer Lord, seeing as he is easily the closest unit. So we've got 2 wounds from the bolt guns, 1 at AP 0, 1 at AP -1.
AP -1 on a 3, and AP -0 on a 2.
1 wound from the Stormbolter, and I use my Miracle Dice to guarantee it.
2? Yeah.
D6 shots from the Flamer, 4, again on 5s. Oh, 1 at AP -1.
3. Oh, he takes a wound.
The squad of Assault Intercessors up there is also in range, so they'll shoot at him as well. And one of them will throw a crack grenade. 4 pistols, 3 pistol hits on the crack grenade hit. Yeah. Crack grenade did not wound, but 2 wounds with pistols.
1 3s. He's fine.
And the Penitent Engine's there, so it will try and roast him as well. 9 automatic hits. Wounding on 4s. There's 4 wounds.
3+ saves. We're good.
Down here in the south, the aggressors are all going to shoot at those warriors with the Gauss flares. 66 automatic hits. That's a good roll, that's 28 I think. 17 wounds on those warriors at AP -1.
One's in cover though, so 1 at a time. Oh, he's dead. And then the other 16. I think they're dead.
Now up to the middle, where the suppressors are going to shoot at the reanimator. 9 shots on 4s again, because they moved, so I'm rolling everything. 5 hits, wounding on 3s, rerolling 1s. 4 wounds.
4s to save. Oh, failed 3. So yeah, I think we'll re-roll 1. Don't want to lose the reanimator. Yes, so 4 damage.
Now Calgar's in range for rapid fire, so he'll try and finish it off since he does 2 damage. 4 shots on 2s. Yep, they will hit. And 5s to wound. 2 wounds. AP -2.
5s. No, it's dead. It might explode on a 6. No.
I'll do the Cataphrons next. They're going to put the Cognis Flamers into those warriors, and then the Heavy Plasmas I'm going to supercharge and put into the Lich Guard. I'm going to spend a command point for elimination volley for the Cataphrons. So with the plasmas, if they get 6s to hit, they will automatically wound the Lich Guard. But we're going to do the flamers first, so it's 2d6 plus 4 hits on the warriors. 12 hits, wounding on 4s. 6 wounds.
4s. Oh, 1 dead, does it come back? No.
And 2d6 plasma shots. 6, looking for 4s, and 6s automatically wound. And I think I'll spend my command point to reroll that one as well, so we don't take any damage. 4 hits, plus an auto wound. These wound on 3s, getting 2 more.
3 are sort of behind some barrels, so we get 5 plus armour.
So they've got cover.
We failed 1, so we'll lose a Lich Guard. Coming back? No.
Some intercessors will fire their pistols at the Lich Guard as well. Not going to supercharge the plasma on the sergeant. Some intercessors didn't do any damage. The outriders, I think, are going to shoot at the warriors in front of them. 2 wounds from the outriders.
6s. No. Reanimation. No.
The lieutenant's there, so he'll shoot at the Lich Guard. 2 wounds from the lieutenant, but it's AP 0.
And I do have cover, so 2s. No, we did roll a 1.
He killed one.
Does it come back? No.
The Tech Priest Dominus will shoot at the warriors as well. 3 shots hitting on 3s because he moved. 2 hits, 3s, 6s do 2 mortal wounds in addition. Ooh, 2 wounds and 2 mortal wounds.
So 2 normal saves, which I failed 1 of. So it kills 1 and then 2 mortal wounds. I can finish off another 2, which 1 comes back. 1 comes back.
Do the Skitarii Rangers next. All the riflemen and the arc rifle are going to go into the 4 remaining warriors, while the sniper and the plasma caliber, which I will supercharge, is going to go into the Lich Guard. 5 wounds from the warriors from the rifles.
On 5s. All made 2, so there's 1 left.
See if the arc rifle can kill him. Rerolls 1s. He hits, wounds on a 3. It does, -2.
6. No, they don't.
Shots of the Lich Guard, we've got the plasma, which hits on 2s because it got the skill, they both hit. 3s. Only 1 wound.
Man in cover, 5. No, dies.
Sniper. Hits. 3s. He wounds.
5 again, no.
D3 damage. 3.
Kills another one, so 2 dead. Anything coming back? No, just 1 left.
Declare all my charges now, so the Outriders are going to go into the remaining Lich Guard. And up at the top, the Assault Intercessors will charge the Destroyer Lord, as will the Penitent Engine.
And he'll set to defend.
Outriders, I reckon, are actually the most important one. A 6. So 6 is enough, I'll show them in a minute, but I've got the Assault Intercessors. A 6 for them, and the Penitent Engine's going to need a whopper of a charge. Yeah, but I'll spend a command point to reroll that 4 into a 9. So the Outriders come down here, more than 3 inches away from the Overlord. And up at the top, both the Penitent Engine and the Assault Intercessors get in range of the Destroyer Lord. And I'm going to pick the Penitent Engine to go first. 5 attacks from the Penitent Engine, on 4s, rerolling everything because of Zealot. 3 hits, wounding on 3s, 2 wounds.
Invulnerable, made 1, so it takes 2 damage.
And he's down to 3.
I'm going to spend 2 command points to interrupt with the Destroyer Lord, and he'll put all his attacks on the Assault Intercessors.
And now I'm going to spend a command point for Transhuman Physiology.
4 attacks on 2s, rerolling 1s because he's set to defend with a big sword. Well, all hit anyway. And 4s. Well, it kills 3.
Well, down here I'll do the Outriders. And I'm going to spend a command point for Gene-wrought Might to see if I can guarantee killing that Lich Guard off, because I don't want them to get Resurrection Walled. Just adjust this their pile in so they are still in range of Calgar. So I've got 13 attacks hitting on 3s, rerolling 1s, and 6s automatically wound. So rerolling the 1s. 4 auto wounds and 8 regular hits that wound on 5s. Getting 1 more, so 5 wounds at AP -1.
4 plus saves. Oh, only fell 2, but yeah, it's dead. Oh, roll spend a command point, reroll it. Interest success, yay, it lives.
2 wounds on the Scorpic Lord.
From the Assault Intercessors, so 4s. He takes another one, he's down to 2. And the Lich Guard gets to fight back, 3 attacks on 3s. Okay, 2, and wounding on 3s, no save, so just does 2 damage.
And you know what, it's worth a punt. We're going to fight again with the Assault Marines using one of the chapter at the end of the Assault phase. So 7 attacks once again, I'll show you on camera. Oh, they all hit. 5s. 3 wounds.
3 4s. No, he's down to 1.
So, Assault Intercessors up there did lose 3 guys, so they do have to take a morale test. Don't roll a 6, they're fine. And then I hold the objective in the middle, so I get 2 more victory points and go up to 8, but then we're on to the Necron turn 2.
It's going to be an uphill struggle, but we're going to see what the Resurrection will get us on the Lich Guard. So we've got 8 dice, because we've got 4 missing. Looking for 5s. Oh, we don't actually get any back at all, so yeah, I'll just concede.
Yeah.
So I did really need at least one Lich Guard back, because I could probably get him in range of the Technomancer, who could bring another one back if I could reanimate closer to him, because they have to stay in melee. The Overlord would charge into the middle and try and go for Calgar probably, but I'm not going to be able to take objectives basically. I've run out of units to do so. I can't physically fit the Wraiths onto the board either.
The main issue is down here at Objective 5. There's maybe a tiny bit here where the Wraiths could physically fit, otherwise they're going to be miles away from anything useful.
I might be able to take Objective 1 and rescue the Scorpet Lord with all those destroyers over there, but basically whatever I move up, I can kill some of the units that are out the front, but then they're just going to get shot to bits, and holding the middle objective is also going to be very difficult.
It can't really do anything about Objective 2 at the moment, and I'll probably hold Objective 5, so I'll get at least 10 on my turn for holding 2 objectives. And also, in the long run, if those Outriders survive, they can go after Objective 4, and maybe one of these units down here can go that way as well.
Before we give up, though, we're going to move the Overlord his 6 inches and he'll charge Calgar.
Yeah, we'll do a duel against Calgar.
And then the Overlord will charge Calgar. Oh, he's in. You'll probably use Transhuman Physiology.
Yes, I suppose I would.
So we'll have 6 attacks hitting on 3s, because he's an honourable combatant.
Yep.
And wounding on 4s. Well, I got 2 wounds. It's not enough to kill him.
Yeah, so Calgar's got a 4+, invulnerable. He made one, he took 2 damage. Calgar's got 7 attacks back, hitting on 2s, and I'll use Gene Wrought Might just for the sake of it, so 6 is auto wound. Well, there's 3 auto wounds and 4 hits. That wound on 3s. Getting 6 wounds in total.
4s. Oh, he's only taking 2d3 damage. 5 is enough.
Oh, well, there we go. That would be an Imperial victory, so we'll recap that game for you now. Well, that was the game for issue 73 of Warhammer 40,000 Imperium magazine. How did you think that went?
Well, obviously not very well. Basically, I think you went first and managed to get all your shooting in range in turn 2, and then I didn't really have an army left. Sometimes it just goes like that, unfortunately. I could have charged the things that had charged me and probably got rid of them, but the thing is, they were screening all your other stuff that was sitting on objectives for the most part. No chance of getting Objective 5 down at the bottom. Objective 1, the destroyers could have cleared it, but then they're just sitting on it doing nothing. And the middle was also a lost cause, with just the Overlord and failing to get any Lich Guard back, so I would not have got many victory points, and then what I had left would then also be destroyed. So I could have struggled on, but I just would have lost the game anyway, so it was just no point really carrying on.
Yeah, I think once I got rid of all your warriors, you're actually too far down on numbers to actually be able to assault objectives. If you had gone first, I think it would have been a different game, but because I have a range advantage, by turn 2 everything was in range.
Yeah, and it's not to say you've always won when you go first, but we have had quite a lot of games recently where I've gone first and it's been a lot closer. It does depend on what stuff you bring as well. I mean, the Cataphrons we know are extremely good from distance.
And even things like the board, if we were deploying along the long edges, I think possibly would have been different because we probably would have started a little bit closer. But I think also the fact that the deployment zones were so huge actually made strategic reserves a lot less useful.
Yeah, and I wouldn't have minded keeping the Wraiths off until turn 3, actually, especially if I'd been going first, and then they could have come on in your back lines, but it never got that far, and they just weren't able to fit where I needed them in turn 2, so they wouldn't have been able to help. So they might not have even had an impact on the game until turn 4, which would have been fine if the flow of the game had been different, but as it was, they would have just been another thing not doing anything.
Yeah, I mean, you would have had to hope to make a long charge.
Yeah, and the Heavy Destroyer, to be honest, I don't think it's that much of an impactful addition to the collection. You're paying 4 power for a gun that can fly and is not really that tough, and it can have a single high damage shot, which is not any use against most of the stuff in the collection. Even shooting at Outriders, sure, it can kill 1 a turn, but that's a 4 power unit taking 3 turns to kill a 6 power unit. It will be a little bit more useful once you get some things that are coming up that have more wounds that it can actually do a decent amount of damage to and use that 3d3 damage. But the thing is, the other gun is, I think, actually pretty terrible. It's only useful against large, i.e. more than 10 models of very light infantry, because even with the blast rule, shooting at 10-man squad, it has a minimum of 3 shots anyway. On average, it can kill about 3 Skitarii Rangers or 2 Battle Sisters a turn, which again, for a 4-power gun, killing off some Battle Sisters with bolt guns is just pointless.
Yeah, and it's as tough as a unit of Immortals, but you can't bring it back.
Yeah, it's less tough than the Reanimator, and that's not hard to get rid of.
36-inch range is fairly good for the Necrons, but it's still less than the Suppressors manage.
Yeah, it's fairly mobile, and it is infantry for some reason as well, so it can get benefit from cover, which is a good thing for it, I suppose. But you do pay a premium in the Necron army for regenerating and coming back, but when you've got a unit of 1 model that's easy to kill, that doesn't really come up. The magazine doesn't tell us about it, but they did actually get their power reduced to 3 per model.
That's more reasonable.
A little bit more reasonable. In the full Necron book, you can also get normal Locust destroyers, and you can include one of these in a unit with them, and I think that's a much better rule for it. It gives them just an extra little sting to a unit that's already much better at shooting things, although again, I still wouldn't give it the Enmitic Exterminator.
Or I guess you'd probably go for a unit of 3 heavy destroyers and get the most out of them.
It's a shame because I do really like the model. It's a really good update of the classic Locust Destroyer thing, which you can still buy the old normal Locust Destroyers. They're probably about 20 years old at this point.
It's a bit weird that they haven't updated those yet.
No, maybe they'll bring out a full plastic kit of Locust Destroyers at some point, and then it will fit in really well with a unit of them. I would definitely use it as a start to a unit of Locust Destroyers, but until they do that, it's just going to sit in the box, I think, most of the time. I think it's like £22.50, so it is a good saving on this model, I suppose. And I did put mine on a little flying stand because I really personally don't like convenient rock underneath the model with a solid plastic stem underneath. I prefer the transparent flying stands, so I do.
But it's also worth noting that this is the only heavy destroyer you can get, so they will all have the same rock.
Yes.
Well, but otherwise, I don't think there's too much more to say about this game or this issue. So, as always, if you like this content, do leave a like and subscribe. Let us know what you think about the Heavy Destroyer, and if you've played with him, tell us how you use Heavy Destroyers. We've been the Tabletop Donkeys, and we'll see you in the next one.
Bye for now.